Today's coaster review is of the one, the only Cannibal at Lagoon. By far one of the most unique coasters out there. It was just built recently in 2015. It had a bit of a late start due to some technical issues, but it is now open and this is one wicked ride. Not to be confused with Wicked in the same park. So I am here to review it, give you my full thoughts on it, tell you what's good, what's bad about it, so you can know exactly what to expect when you go to ride it. Or if you ever get to ride it, because this ride is located in Farmington, Utah, just north of Salt Lake City, and it really is the only amusement park in Utah. So this is by far the biggest ride. It sits at over 200 feet tall, and everyone knows this ride because it is the steepest roller coaster in America, a 116-degree drop. That is way beyond vertical. It is crazy. Normally when you have a coaster that's a steep drop, it's around maybe 130 feet in height, but this is over 200 feet tall. So this ride is massive. It reaches speeds of up to 70 miles per hour, and it goes through four and a half inversions really. It does have this one overbank turn that some could classify as an inversion, some do, some don't. RCDB, the roller coaster database, says it is not an inversion, so for now I'll just say it isn't, but some people might just consider it an overbank turn, but it really doesn't matter. Moving on. It has a track length of over just 2,700 feet, so it actually isn't that long in track length. And I will say, it kind of feels that way. I was surprised at how quickly the ride ended. I didn't expect it to go by as fast as it actually did. Now that isn't necessarily a bad thing. I don't think that the ride feels too short. It would be nice for it to be longer, but its length is not a problem. And it does have a duration of 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and that does include the elevator lift that it goes up. And what's nice about this is that because it has only 12 people per car, it's able to cycle several cars, and when you go up this lift, they actually have 2 loading docks, so while its capacity isn't great, they're able to cycle several cars and get them through quickly. Now, a bit of some bad news, this thing does tend to break down a lot. When I was there, it broke down at least 3 times during the day. Luckily, 2 of those times it was up within 10 minutes, but at one point it was down for over an hour, so it just shows that even after it's been open for a while, they're still having some issues with it. But that is because this ride is built completely in-house. You would think it'd be built by Gerstlauer, but Lagoon built it themselves. This meant that they could make the track sections larger, so that way they didn't have to bolt as many pieces together because they aren't traveling as far of a distance to put them in place. And this is supposed to make for a smoother ride. And for the most part, it does make for a smoother ride. I thought it was very smooth. The only part I thought was kind of rattly was the end helix. I was surprised that there was a bit of a vibration there, but that was the only part I would say remotely had an issue with that. Other than that, this ride is completely smooth, and even that rattle towards the helix isn't a big deal. Now, when you go up to ride this, be warned, the workers at Lagoon are very much trying to make sure you don't have anything in your pockets. There are no bins for you to put your stuff in. They do allow you to wear sunglasses, but they do give you that warning that you might lose them. I wore sunglasses on this ride twice and did not have a problem with it, but just a bit of a heads up. And they do have a single rider line, which is excellent because that way every car is full. Now, when you actually get on this thing, they do not let you pick your row. They will choose it for you. So you go into the car, and this thing actually has lap bars. It's a very funky lap bar, but it's very comfortable, so that's good. So you leave the station, this cool native-like horn sounds, and there's actually a curtain that rises up. Your vehicle travels through. You see this cool theming that you aren't able to see in this video because it is inside. And then you begin to rise up this massive tower, 208 feet in the air. Holy cow. You feel like you're just rising up this elevator lift forever, and then the doors open, and man, you would think you'd get a great view of the mountains because it's Utah and there's mountains everywhere, but actually Cannibal faces the road, so you get a great view of the interstate. So you have this breathtaking view, and you're able to cherish it for a couple of seconds before you go down this 116-degree drop. You really just curl under yourself. When you're looking out, the track just seems to end. And this drop is nuts. For the first part, you take it very slow, and then you begin to really pick up speed when you go towards the bottom. I really like the drop. It isn't my favorite part of this coaster. I'll tell you what my favorite part is in a minute. But after that drop, you're really going to pull up into this massive Immelman. And this Immelman is cool because it doesn't turn out immediately. you almost go upside down like you're going to go into a vertical loop, and then it twists out towards the end. So that's a really cool element. And then you're going to go into a dive loop. That's fun. And then you go into that half inversion, half not inversion. Whether you call it a bank turn or a side inversion, whatever, that's a fun element. And then you hit the mid-course brake run. This is when you take a breather, and it goes behind the tower, and that is when you bank to go into the Lagoon roll. This is the coolest part about this ride. The hang time is ridiculous. What it is it feels like an inline twist back to back. So it's 2 inversions, but they have it so that you don't just keep on going. You flip back the other way, if that makes sense. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, go watch a POV of this. But it is so cool. You go through it so slowly, and because you just have a lap bar, you feel like you're going to fall out. It's crazy. And then you go through this helix. It's almost a double helix, and you actually go around through this waterfall. And I will say, you do actually get a little wet. It comes close enough to the waterfall that some of the water will spray onto you. And then that is when you hit the final brakes and the ride has ended. And let me tell you, you will walk off this coaster with a smile on your face. By far, this is the best roller coaster at Lagoon. It is incredible. There really is nothing else like it. I think it craps over all of the Gerstlauer Eurofighters out there. It feels like a Eurofighter on steroids, really. If you are in the area, you absolutely have to go and check this thing out. Now, where would I put this compared to other roller coasters I've ridden? I think it's definitely top 20 worthy, probably top 15, but because I just rode it less than a week ago as of when this video is being made, I'm still kind of processing it. I kind of like to think it over and then place it. It might be in my top 10. Again, I just need to think about it a bit more, but it is very good. For its final score, I'm giving it a 9.5. Really awesome ride. Again, would have been nice if it was a bit longer, but it isn't a problem at all. The length is very good. The elements on this ride are awesome. Really, the only thing that I was a bit disappointed in was that this ride isn't really intense. I wouldn't say it's forceless, but I was expecting it to be intense, and it wasn't. I think both Wicked and Colossus the Fire Dragon in the same park are more intense than this. But not every ride has to be intense. And I think you notice that because the elements on this ride are very wide, they don't seem very tight. If you want tight elements, that's why you have Wicked. This is very drawn out, even though it has a compact layout. But I will say, because of the awesome elements on this thing, I don't think intensity is a problem at all. That's just something that I was a bit surprised about, something that I expected, but was kind of let down with. But that is okay. I don't think it's a big deal at all. Still an excellent roller coaster. It really is something else. I would highly recommend it. So that is it for this coaster review. Let me know if you agree with me, if you want to go and ride this thing. If you have ridden it, what do you think? Am I wrong? Am I right? Let me know in the comment section below. Make sure to share this video, give it a big thumbs up. And if you're new to Coaster Studios, you can check out other coaster reviews I have done, which are available in a playlist on my channel. It is in alphabetical order based off of all of the roller coasters that I've ridden. So make sure to check that out, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you for watching.